Unlock 5 guidelines are finally here, and let's quickly take you through what is now open and what still remains shut. Well, schools and colleges, which have been shut since March as lockdown was announced across the country, will be allowed to reopen from the 15th of October. But, and it's a big but there, the states get to decide which all schools and colleges will be open or if they will open at all. Apart from that, a big opening has been that of cinema halls, of multiplexes, of exhibition halls, all of them allowed to again reopen, but with staggered entry and also with only 50% seating. Swimming pools also now open, but only for athletes who are training in for various events coming up. Also, what remains shut, however, at this point is going to be the international air travel. That continues to remain shut until the 31st of October unless there is clearance by the Ministry of Home Affairs. All this, remember, applies only to areas outside containment zones. Containment zones continue to be in absolute lockdown with nothing but essential services working in those areas. All right, we have Gautam Datta now, the CEO of PVR Cinemas, to take us through what exactly are the preparations looking like. Good morning, Gautam. Good news there for cinemas and multiplexes at this point. But looking at the guidelines and the fine print of that, what sort of preparations are you doing at the moment?
First and foremost, we are still awaiting the detailed guidelines from the government. But having said that, we've been at it for last couple of months. We've had several discussions with both the government at one end and all our other multiplex partners. So we knew exactly some of the protocols which have been laid down for most of the retail partners. So we've learned from those and have already implemented the basic hygiene across all cinemas. So they've been sanitized. There's been chemical treatment done across all surfaces of the cinema. Of course, the mask, Aragya Setu, all that has been put into place. A lot of training for the staff has gone in. And over and above, there's been something specific that we've done for food, packaging. UV cabinets have been ordered for all sterilization. So we've done a whole lot of things across the board to ensure that both consumers and our own employees are absolutely safe.
Right. Gautam, one big concern that anybody going to the movies at this point would be the enclosed space and the air conditioning, the air constantly rotating. These spaces are being talked about by doctors as being the most dangerous and could lead to a lot of spread. What are you doing to sort of filter that?
So first and foremost, you need to understand there's been no validated news around such spaces, and cinema is actually a double to triple ceiling height spaces. So in terms of circulation of air, it's very, very good because the sheer volume that the cinema provides is very quite a bit. Secondly, we will conform to the 24 degree temperature, which has been, I'm sure, would be notified by the government to be maintained. So that's the second thing that we will do. And also, you need to understand that cinemas inherently, when people come, they are not talking to each other. Normally, people do not talk within, and that's something that we also do not encourage at all. So people normally eat and they watch. That's the only two activities that really happen. So while there are many conversations around this piece, but the fact of the matter is that's really not true. And, it's largely sorted in the sense we believe that cinemas will just not be at risk for that point.
Right. And you're right, Gautam, that eating is a huge part of the whole experience of movies in the country. What are you doing to ensure that remains absolutely sanitized?
So a couple of things. One, the big one is that we've got all the UV cabinets across all cinemas in PVR, where the food will be completely sterilized, and so would the packaging. So whether you order yourself a popcorn or a Pepsi or a nachos, the entire packaging and the food shall be sterilized for about 8 seconds before it's handed over to the consumer. That would ensure food safety. The second point that we've done is most of our food now will be sealed pack, except for, of course, popcorn and Pepsi, which will now come with a lid. Even a popcorn tub, we are providing a lid on top of the tub so that, there is absolutely no bacteria getting in.
All right, Gautam Datta, thank you so much and good luck for the days ahead. We're under Unlock 5. Now you can go out to the movies, but it'll only be with 50% seating. And there the CEO of PVR talking to us about what precautions they will be taking for that. But my colleague Sakshi also went in to try and understand what exactly these cinema halls were looking like. Here's a report.
For all movie lovers missing the movie theatre experience, waiting to get back to the theatres to catch up on their favourite movie with a popcorn or two, with their friends and family, we're now going to show you what the new normal in the theatre is going to be like. Step 1, as per the new normal for watching movies. So if I'm someone who's tech savvy, I can just scan my QR code on the PVR app that has been given to me, and all I need to do is book my ticket via that app. However, for someone who's not so tech savvy and who wants to still go ahead and watch their favorite movie with their friends and family, and of course ensure social distancing as well, all they need to do is stand at a distance. As you can see, there are markers here at the ticket counter now. You stand on a distance, you wait for your turn, and you go at the ticket counter. Before you step in, you show that code and you scan it again at the entry point. Namaskar. And once, of course, that has been looked into and your camera has got and accepted that ticket and the QR code here at the entry, you're free to enter and watch your favorite movie. When you're ready to enter, we've been told there have been disinfectant mats that have been placed. You step in, you make sure you're keeping a social distance from the crowd. And of course, you wait as you enter, because what you see first is, of course, a dispenser and a hand sanitizer. You use this, and as you're stepping in, of course, you're going to get scanned and your temperature is going to be checked. All right, so when you step into the theatre, you of course now see that there is social distancing that is being maintained. For every 2 families, or of course every 2 friends, there will be a seat left in the centre that will of course be empty. So as you can see, there will be staggered exits row-wise, which will be monitored by the theatre. With that, you've got a glimpse of a step-by-step process as per the new normal. You've of course seen all the safety measures and protocols that will be followed, but you've also got a glimpse of that favourite movie that you were longing to watch in the midst of the pandemic. And you've of course witnessed what the new normal and the preparedness for a new normal will look like. With camera person Rakesh Singh, Sakshi Bajaj for NDTV.
All right, let's go across to Sunil Prabhu now, who's going to give us a wholesome picture into what exactly Unlock 5 guidelines are looking like. Sunil, safe to say that the biggest sort of talking point here has been the opening up of entertainment parks and of cinema halls as well at this point, and even gatherings, and we've been talking about how the number of gatherings has actually, people in a gathering has been left to some states to decide as well. And the big talking point there is a state like Bihar, for example, which is going to polls. They could get to decide on how many people get to be part of a political rally. Is that correct?
That's right. In fact, as you pointed out, not only about Bihar, but actually it's reinventing the wheel. If people recall, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi gave 4 hours notice to the people of this country, it was a top-down approach where everything was decided by the center. Now in Unlock 5, it's being left to the states in consultation with various institutions, and of course Bihar elections is uppermost in their mind, where they know that they have to show their strength in real numbers, and that's the reason why it's more of a political decision than anything else. Having said that, has the situation improved in terms of the COVID crisis? No. It's still a situation which has to be watched very carefully. That's the reason why the National Disaster Management guidelines are still in force. It is still got, the center still has the powers to override states as well as to send a message to the district magistrate that it's watching over them. But having said that, of course, as you rightly pointed out, Bihar in mind, the fact that they've left it now states to decide on schools, because there are a lot of people who are still paranoid, public health being one of the main reasons, especially for young kids as well as college-going students,
Right.
where it can spread exponentially. And then, of course, the last point, international travel is the only one which is restricted. But for others, it's really no more unlock. It's a completely watered down version of what we first saw.